All right, everybody. Here we are. This is Laurel. If you can hear the sound of my voice, if you would just raise your hand, I know that everything's working. Okay, perfect. Yay. Here we are. It's September, and I just want to start things off and make an apology. If anybody here attempted to join my call, my support call in August, I am very sorry. Life happened unexpectedly, and yeah, there were things apparently happening that prevented me from being there and announcing it. So I just want to send my apologies if anyone joined this call and did not find someone. Yeah, I really try to honor the times that I am letting people know I'm available. So again, apologies for that. All right, but here we are now, and I'm grateful to everyone that's on the call. If you had your hand raised before and would like to receive support, assistance, or if you have a question or you want something to share, just go ahead and raise your hand now and I'll start calling on folks. And thank you all for being here. Let's see. No, I'm not seeing any hands raised. Maybe it's how I'm looking. Lorenz, I know you had your hand raised.
True.
Would you still like to ask a question or ask
Yeah,
for support?
it's still raised, but for some reason you appear not to be able to see it.
Yeah, I don't know why
So, but
I'm
yeah,
not seeing it.
but I don't know. Okay, it's first, but yeah, but since I was very early in the call, it's yeah, I'd like some facilitation.
Okay, I'm here.
So, there was this girl I met overseas, and I had a wonderful time with the girl. And we parted ways because, well, it's very, very clear that life situations are very, very different. So there's really no shared future. However, now that I'm back home and kind of recovering from COVID, I found that I have that there is a feeling of a sense of attachment to her,
Yeah.
which I would like to let go of.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, what if, yeah, I'm sure everybody on this call can relate to feeling that way.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. What
So,
came to mind at first was doing holistic releasing around that, just really allowing the attachment and whatever's here, and then just being like open and free and whatever's on the other side of that.
yeah, why not?
How does that sound to you?
It sounds sounds good. We can try.
Okay. And then if you could just imagine for a moment being free of this feeling of being attached, what would be there if that feeling wasn't here? It's on the other side of it.
It's almost hard to imagine. Damn.
Okay.
Well, I would imagine uh, to feel light, open, free. Just yeah, being with what is kind of more.
Okay. Perfect.
more present.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
And there is a sense of that as I speak of this state.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, the interesting thing about other people, is that when we have these experiences, anything that's experienced is still happening. It's all happening within ourselves.
Yes.
And we have this idea that it's this person that, them in my life, and it's because I'm with you, and then I get to feel this way. But it's like those feelings all come from ourselves. And it's just what's that?
That seems at once obvious and incredible at the same time, or unbelievable.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. We put a lot on the other, but so.
Okay, so it wasn't the girl that made me feel a certain way. It was actually just me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why does that seems? It seems obvious, but it also seems very difficult to accept somehow.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're all mirroring each other, and we different people bring out different aspects of ourselves. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So the mind doesn't have to understand it or buy it or any of that, but we're just gonna be with what is right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So in this moment, can you allow yourself to feel as attached as you do? Would you allow any feelings of longing or wishing for this apparent other to simply be here?
Yeah, it's just a mild contraction
Okay.
and yeah, a mild sense of emptiness in certain place of the body, the stomach.
Okay. So could you simply notice that mild contraction and that sense of emptiness?
It's becoming more intense, which is good.
Yeah, and whatever it appears to emanate from, could you go into that emptiness? Could you dive into that spacious? Oh, could you just allow that openness? Could you allow that to be
Yeah,
here?
I'm diving into the sense of lack, which could be
Okay.
described as an emptiness.
Okay. So it's not a
Someone left.
okay.
So it's not the kind of no, it's not the spacious emptiness. It's like a vacuum, like there's some kind of like I don't know what's it called in English, but you have like a negative pressure in a space. It's kind of
Yeah,
sucking. Yeah,
something's missing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. All right, so we'll go back. We'll just allow that feeling. Could you just notice, like, if you weren't gonna put any brakes on it or censor it in any way, could you allow that emptiness, that feeling like something's missing here? Could you just allow it to be as big as it appears to be? Giving it full permission to be here. Do you allow yourself to feel that without making it wrong or right, or even
I
really?
notice I'm holding some of it back. It's almost like I'm afraid to allow it.
Okay. Yeah. So could you notice that hesitation?
Yes.
Hmm. Could you allow that resistance? And is there
Yes.
some
Yeah.
is there some wanting to control there?
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you just notice that? And as best you can, and just for now, could you let go of wanting to control this experience?
Yes.
Okay. And as best you can, could you allow that sense of holding on, that contraction? Could you allow that to soften? To dissolve, to unwind?
Phew.
Good. And then could you notice any relaxation? Any sense of openness or ease as you allow that contraction to dissolve, to soften? Yeah, good. All releasing is welcome here.
Ah,
Yeah,
quite intense.
good. And then what are you noticing now?
Yeah, there's definitely more openness, vulnerability.
Beautiful. Yeah. Is there any more resistance or contraction?
Mm, um, there's no resistance to the feeling of attachment.
Mm-hmm.
The sense is definitely much less.
Okay.
The sense of needing, lacking, etc.
Yeah. Good. So I just want to end with, I want to do one more thing. Is in this space that feels more open and vulnerable. In this space, I also invite you to just welcome in any aspect of this experience that, felt like it was coming from this apparent other. Maybe there was a sense of connection, enjoying, delighting in your day-to-day experience in a new way or an elevated way. Just any memory you have from that time that you can recall in this moment. Is there an aspect of that experience that you can remember right now?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And the sense of this lack, it comes back, but it's not resisted.
Good. But then as you welcome those memories, just notice, like, welcome it, as you welcome that memory, that, wow, I can feel this in my experience now, just within myself. That sense of joy, that sense of connection. It's like, oh, how can I have a deeper connection to myself? Like, as I allow myself to be more vulnerable, release resistance. Just seeing if there's any of that you shared that you can experience right now.
There's a resistance to that idea.
Okay. Well, we don't have to go there if it's not what's helpful in this moment. Yeah, I invite you to just ponder that. Good. Is there anything else now, Lorenz, that would be helpful for you?
That's very good. Thank you. It's like I'll keep on checking out the subject and releasing on it. But this is definitely a good intro.
Perfect. Can I just share one little quick thing about in my life experience,
Please,
or my
please
parent?
Yeah, please do.
I was in a relationship, and it was only a few months. It was pretty intense, and we broke up. really abruptly, and there was such a sense of longing for a really long time. Like it just felt like a daily thing. I was just longing and longing and
Yeah,
longing. And I finally got to this point where I was like, oh, this like wanting approval, wanting to be loved, wanting to love. I realized I was like, I just have to let this go. Like this is consuming. And there was, when I was able to really consciously release that wanting, so much opened up for me. Like there was just like, I could just really feel that shift. So, that might be something that you explore, because it really was getting in the way of having actual connection.
Yeah, totally. I can imagine.
Yeah. All right. It was good to have you here, Lorenz. And
okay. Fantastic. I noticed you're recording. Do you have recordings on your website?
I do. Yes. This will be on my actually I put it on my YouTube channel.
Ah, you have a YouTube channel. Okay.
Yeah. So if anybody here wants to listen to the recordings, you can see my name on the bottom of the screen. It's just Laurel Askew.
Okay, I'll check it. I'll check out the recording. Thanks.
Yeah, this will be there.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
Bye-bye.
you. Bye. All right, we have Sanjana. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Hi.
Hi.
How do I pronounce your name?
Sanjana.
Sanjana. All right.
Sanjana.
Sanjana?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Hey. What would you like to do today?
I like some facilitation.
Okay.
I want to release on few tasks that I'm resisting and seems impossible for me to complete.
Okay. So it's a little hard to hear you. So what I heard was something around releasing resistance related to completing projects. Is that right?
No, not projects. There are few tasks.
Are these like day-to-day tasks?
Yeah, similar to that.
Okay. Can you speak a little bit more about what it is? Just give me a little bit more information.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually need to shift few things in my house, and I'm not having good ideas to do that, or feeling like I can't. It will be messy.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah, I am wanting clarity and strength for that.
Okay. And so when you say that it sounds like there's some blocks to making these shifts. What do you have any idea what that resistance is? What is it connected to? Or what it's about?
Yeah, there is resistance. And wanting to give up.
Okay. Would you say that wanting to give up, is that where the most resistance is around this experience?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right, let's focus on that. And I think for this one, because I think a lot of us can relate to wanting to give up, I'm going to do a group release. I'm going to use triple welcoming as a group release. And then I'm going to circle back with you at the end to see where you're at. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so I'm going to mute you now, but I'll come back to you once I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So everybody that's on the call, if you are currently having an experience where you want to give up, or you're tired, you want to give in, you want to throw in a towel. If any of that relates to you, we're going to do a group release now, and I invite you to release along with us. So first, let's start by focusing on whatever that thing is that you are resisting. Whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, you're trying to make some progress, you're trying to get something done, and it is being met with, I just want to give up. I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. And so could you allow yourself to really allow that feeling to be here? Whatever feeling arises through that resistance, through that thing that you're trying to do, but it just doesn't seem like it's going the way that you want it to. Or maybe you haven't even really gotten started yet, but just the thought of all that needs to be done, it's just making you not even want to begin. Can you notice that feeling, what that feels like? There might be this might feel like you're trying to push a boulder uphill. It's all this effort, and it's not getting any easier. And could you also notice what thoughts also are accompanying this experience? It might be something like, I can't do this. It's too hard. I'm not going to get it right. I don't want to do this anymore. And whatever thoughts are arising, could you just simply notice those thoughts? Whether they are true or not true. We're just simply noticing what thoughts arise around this experience. And could you also notice how it feels in the body? Maybe there's that sense of contraction, the body tensing up, or sense of pressure. That feeling of resistance in the body. Could you notice where that is showing up for you right now? Really notice, what is that feeling? How would you describe it? If it's helpful, you could put a hand on that part of your body as a gesture of welcoming. And you could also breathe into that space to help release some of that pressure. And notice if there's anything else around this experience or apparent problem. Perhaps there's judgment. Perhaps it's like this story that you've been just telling yourself over and over, that it feels so true. Maybe there's a conclusion, if I don't do this, then this will happen. Some kind of projection or hallucination into the future. Just noticing if there's anything else around this experience that feels real, it feels true, It feels like it's connected to it in some way. And could you simply welcome all of that? Could you allow that to be here just as it is? And then could you also notice any sense, any part of you that wants to get rid of this, wants to change it or fix it or make it different in any way? Noticing that resistance to this experience. And there could also be a part that you're holding on to, something that you want to keep, or even that belief that this is never going to change. It's always going to be this way. That's one way that we hold on. So can you notice any sense of pushing away or holding close? And could you simply welcome and allow both to be here just as they are? And finally, could you notice what feels personal? What feels like this is yours? I own this. This is mine. This is who I am. It could be any sense of who you are in relation to this experience. Or even this belief that I am a separate individual who wants to give up. Just notice any sense of identification with this experience. That this experience is an extension of who you are. What if all of this is just apparently happening just as it is? It has nothing to do with the story of you. And finally, I invite you to notice what's beyond this. If I want to give up, if that never existed, if that thought never arose, it just wasn't here, what would be here instead? What's on the other side of that? Maybe there's a thought, I can, I will, I do, I am. Maybe it's things happening with flow and ease and noticing the energy in the moment, and allowing yourself to be aligned with that flow. Maybe it's confidence, acceptance, peace. Whatever's here on the other side, beyond any resistance to doing something, whatever's beyond that, I invite you to welcome that as best you can in this moment. Good. Right. Well, it appears that Sanjana, I'm not sure what happened with her, but hopefully she gets the recording and this is helpful to her and helped some others on the call. All right. We've got Romana.
Hi, Laura. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for this group
yeah.
facilitation. Do you hear me well?
I do.
Yeah. I have this goal. I have to find a new home by the end of the week.
Okay.
And yeah, for the first time in my life, I want to be homeowner. I would like to release on that. There are some fear there.
Did you say the
Can you
first
hear
time
me?
you'll be living alone?
No, this is for the first time I want to be a homeowner, to own my
Oh,
own
okay.
home. Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah, and there's some fear that I will never be able to do that.
Okay.
I would like some releasing on that.
So are you still looking for the home?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's just do,
Yeah.
if you were gonna put like in a sentence, so is the sentence, the fear is, I'll never be able to own a home, or like if you were just gonna put it in one sentence, whatever that fear is, what would that be?
Yeah, like it's I know on one hand, I know it's possible,
Yeah.
but there's a doubt there that maybe, I don't know, I thought already, but it's still some, I don't know if there's a resistance there. It's more like I would like to allow it to just happen and show up, you know.
Hmm.
Because I'm looking on this market, and I would just like to allow it to surrender to it
Mhm.
and to manifest it.
Well, unfortunately, situations like this, I mean, it is possible. Anything's possible, I believe. But sometimes there are some steps that we need to take. Action needs to happen. So that, might be
I've been
required in
taking
this.
actions, but
Yeah.
I've been taking actions. That's just
Yeah. If you had it all your way, you just want it to appear. I think that would be very nice as well. But the part that is afraid.
too, yeah.
What's that?
I'm open to that part, yes. To just
So
show up. I'm
just-
forever.
I love that for you. And that may happen. We'll see. You'll have to let me know. But I want to go back to the fear,
Okay.
which is very natural. The mind is just like, it's really wants us to prevent us from being in danger. And so fear arises when there's a threat, something is gonna, apparently attack us, or, most of the time it's not the case. Or it also shows up when there's opportunity. And this is a perfect example of that. Maybe there's a new relationship or a new job offer or the possibility of a new house. It's like, this is an amazing opportunity. And once the excitement kind of dissipates, then it's very common for fear to come in, because there's a big loss. There's a lot at stake. This is a big deal. So it's very natural that what you're feeling. So if I was going to put that fear into a sentence, if I said, I won't be able to own my own home, does that capture what you're experiencing? That fear part?
But if I check, it's not quite that.
Okay, how would you phrase it?
I'm just money.
Can you say that again? It's a little garbly.
I want to make it a fear, but when I check in, it's more excitement.
Okay, good.
And it's kind of similar. Sometimes they are, even the excitement for me sometimes is intense. And I resist it. So yeah, I know this is an opportunity for me to do something new and open up. Yeah, but my mind is like you said, my mind is trying to see a problem where there is none. So I would like more help on just, yeah, helping to open up even more, or maybe release on the excitement, or having the goal already, there is some resistance I feel there still to
Okay.
having, yeah.
All right. Well, let's just do then let's do holistic releasing then. And we'll do both sides. You get to walk on both sides of it. Okay.
Okay.
And then if as I do this, if other words pop in, feel free to just say them, and so I can add those in. So it really is capturing what you're experiencing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So in this moment, can you notice any resistance around buying your own home for the first time?
Yes.
Yeah, good. And could you allow that resistance to be here as much as it is?
Oh. Yes.
Good. And then could you also notice the excitement? That part of you that is ready for something new. The part of you that loves this idea of owning your home, your being a new homeowner.
Yes.
Could you really welcome that part of you that gets really lit up about this, that is really, really looking forward to this experience? Could you welcome that even more?
Yeah.
Good. Good. Again, could you notice any part of you that isn't sure or is afraid, feels unsafe in any way around this?
Yes.
And could you welcome that just a little bit more, allowing yourself to feel that way too?
Yes.
Good. And then could you notice the excitement?
Yes.
Good. And just could you welcome that feeling? Noticing where it is in your body, where that excitement is hanging out.
Mostly in the upper part of the body, like throat and below, between heart and the throat.
Beautiful. Yeah. So could you tune into that feeling? This is what excitement feels like in my body.
Yes.
Good. And once again, could you notice if there's any resistance or fear around this experience?
Yeah.
And where does that live in the body?
In my gut area.
Okay. If you would, you might even just put your hand there and really allow yourself to feel that way and notice the sensation. Sending a signal that, yes, I see you. I'm listening. I'm here. And as best you can you allow that resistance to soften, to relax just a little bit?
Yes.
Good. And you could even keep your hand there. And then once again, welcome excitement, this new adventure you're on. And again, noticing where that is in the body, if it's in the same place or if it's somewhere else.
It's more moving below, down to the stomach area.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Good. If you want, you can place your hand there, and maybe your hand's already there with the where it was. So just notice those two sides, those two apparent opposites coming together in this moment.
Now the sadness comes up.
What's that?
Sadness comes up.
Oh, okay, good. And is that in a particular part of the body?
In heart area, lungs.
Oh, yeah. Let's put our hand there as well, if you don't mind. And it's wonderful when the body relaxes and feels safe to allow sadness to emerge. This is good. And this what I'm going to do right now is not from the Sedona method. This is just something I started doing with clients. I just invite you to notice that sadness. And then you could ask it, you know, what do you need from me? What can I do? And see if you get an answer. Is there any response?
Yeah, just love me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Is that something that you're willing to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you could even right now just give yourself a hug in that area. And
Yeah.
welcome the love that's here. Really feel that. Yeah. I invite you to sit with this. You might, I don't know if you are somebody who journals or meditates but to really explore what this part of your body is asking for, and what does it look like to love yourself through this experience? This is a big experience that you're going through right now.
Yeah. What comes security?
What's that?
It needs security.
Yeah, security. Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
And are you willing to provide security?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. That's what you're doing. A home is all about security.
Yeah.
So I invite you, especially as you look at the different houses, really notice how the body responds. When you go into a home, you know, we might be thinking a lot about, you know, checking a list or whatever, but also the body will tell you how it feels about different spaces. So as you go into your home, what's that?
Yeah. I listen to the body a lot when I.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Great.
So thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Enjoy the journey. You're on a
Thank
wonderful adventure.
Yeah, I feel so.
Thank you, Ramana.
I will let you know. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. All right, Sharon.
Hi, Laurel. Thank you. Hi.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. How are you today?
I've got a lot going on, to be honest, Laurel. Lots of challenges.
I understand.
Yeah, feeling overwhelmed. Just talking with Ramana about housing. There's lots going on for me around that, with me and my family. There's a housing crisis here. I live in the northwest of England, and you know, we're a very rich country, but the support doesn't seem to be here. And I've actually had nowhere fixed to live for 13 years now. My nephew has had a really a really horrible year in where he got a house beginning of March. Him and his partner, they're expecting a new baby in May. They only lived there 2 months, and then there was rats getting into the property, and the landlord would not do the repairs, and they had to keep paying their rent. They've paid 4 months' rent. They've just come away from that property. They're waiting on the deposit now as well. They spent a lot of money on it. And now she's going to the housing association with a newborn baby, and they're just telling her at the moment, they're making every reason not for you to go on the list. I've had the same experience myself. I dealt with a charity last year. Now that charity's gone completely because of lack of funding. So it is a crisis situation. I'm lucky I've got a roof over my head, but I'm staying in a 1-bedroom place with my mum. My nephew now and his partner, a newborn baby, have had to go back to my sister's. That's overcrowded. They've also had an issue with the baby's been ill. He's been in hospital twice this week. It's just there's so much going on, and I'm just really feeling like that release you did about giving up was so apt, because it feels like that's how I feel. It just feels, I know it's an illusion. There is no scarcity, but that doesn't appear to be my experience. I'm not quite there at the moment. And it doesn't seem to be the experience of my family. And so there's a lot of stress going on, particularly for my nephew. And we've had a death of a young baby this week in my mum's sister's family. So there's just been so much. There's been many bereavements to deal with as well. I lost my brother 4 years ago, suddenly. So there's been so much. And just living here at my mum's, there's a communal garden. We've had new neighbours move in over the last 3 years, and they are really not nice people. I've never had experiences. I've always had good neighbours when I've had fixed places to live. So there's just so much going on. Wondering why all this is happening, I suppose. I know it's a lot. Just some help, really, releasing to try and let go of some of the effects of this, please, Laurel. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I want to say, it's, well, I can only speak for myself and how I work with this method and support people. I just really want to honor the experience that you're having. And it's easy to say, oh, there's none of this exists, or non-duality. And there's a piece of that, and that's somewhere that, but just putting that aside, just that all that you shared in these last few moments, like there's a lot that you and your family are encountering in your physical reality. So I'm not here to bypass any of that. I want to honor and acknowledge what you're going through.
Thank you, Laurel. Yeah.
And I know that sometimes, it can be challenging on my end to say, well, I can't change the circumstances. And so I would love for you to let me know of when it feels overwhelming and you're faced with all of these challenges, what is supportive for you? Like what brings relief? What brings a sense of ease to help you navigate these challenges? What's most beneficial?
Well, I feel the Sedona method has been just a godsend to me. I've been doing it now for just over 2 years, and I go on as many support calls as I can. And I just keep releasing myself. And my mum, actually, she's not really into the Sedona, but she does listen to other non-duality teachers. So my mum's, so we sometimes, most mornings we will sit together and we will do a meditation and we'll do prayer. So we're trying to support. And like the rest, I think we're nuts with all this. So it's just, again, that's difficult at times, but we just do it for us and for the family. So
beautiful. And is there a particular technique that you like more than others, or that is more beneficial for you?
I can't really say one that springs to mind, Laurel.
Okay.
I just like whatever resonates really, and sometimes I even like listen to recordings of other people because it resonates what they're going through or what they're releasing on. Yeah.
Well, let's start with diving in.
Okay. Thanks.
And this, is can sometimes be a mixed bag when I've shared it with people. Some people it really resonates, and then other people it doesn't. So
Okay.
as we're doing this, if you notice any more resistance, or if it takes you in a direction that isn't supportive,
Yeah.
just be like, nope, not working. Or
Okay.
like,
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
yeah, we've got 10 minutes here to hang out, unless
Okay.
somebody else raises their hand. So, yeah, it's just you and I together. So,
Okay.
are you familiar with diving in?
I am. Yeah. I'll see
Okay.
how it goes because I know sometimes I feel like I do get a little bit stuck, but we'll give it a go. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll try. The reason I suggested it is when there's a lot of intense feeling.
Yeah.
That's when I like to try it.
Yeah. I
So,
do focus. I suppose myself, in my own experience, I like to focus on sensations because I think that is where the power is to move through stuff. So yeah. So I'll be
okay,
quiet.
perfect. All right.
Okay. Thanks.
But yeah, anytime you're like, you can put the brakes on and it's
Okay.
fine.
Thanks.
Right. You're welcome. So let's just start. I didn't do this really with anybody else, and I'm actually going to stand. I've been sitting. So let's just start with just bringing a little bit of relaxation to the body, which is kind of the other counterintuitive with this technique, but it's just what feels right. So in this moment, you could take some deep breaths if that's helpful, in through the nose and out through the mouth.
Yeah.
And just noticing if the body wants any movement. You might notice if there's tension in your shoulders or your neck. You could,
Yeah.
lift and lower the shoulders or rotate the neck.
I'm noticing, and this has been happening the last few days, a lot of shaking in my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it could be just, just allowing the head to move as it is.
Yeah.
Just really noticing the body, noticing what movement wants to happen.
Yeah.
Good. Perfect. We're just doing a little unwinding.
Yeah.
If there's anything that's not comfortable in the body and it wants to be adjusted in any way. Yeah, good.
Yeah, like feels like I'm shaking a little bit, just like loosening, the energy, I suppose. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all welcome here. There's no need to judge or question or try to figure it out. The body knows.
Yeah.
And the body, and the body's in a constant state of stress, and is trying to hold everything together. There can be
Yeah.
a lot trapped and held in the body. So I'm just going to allow. Good, you're doing great. And just allowing it to kind of come to a settling point. Really thanking the body for expressing itself, allowing it to do its thing.
Yeah. That feels calm. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
And then now could you tune in with the emotional body?
Yeah.
We're not going to go try as best you can. It's easy to go into memory and all the things, all that you shared with me so much. And if you wander, back into memory, it's okay. But just allowing, as you look at your experience and the situation and all the things that feel very out of control.
It feels like grief is coming up.
Good. Beautiful. So could you allow that grief to be here? It takes a lot when we have to be strong, you know, there's a lot of protection that we put in place, and grief doesn't feel safe to be expressed or be felt. So in this moment, can you really allow grief to be here? There's a lot to be grieving for. So grief is welcome here. So could you allow grief and any other feelings that are apparently arising, they're showing up in this moment? You just allow yourself to feel those things as much as they're here. Now we're going to do a little exploration.
Okay.
And sometimes I get this image like there's just curtains. Sometimes it could be like a beaded curtain, if you've seen those, or just like a regular kind of curtain. So what if we pull the curtain open? And this is, maybe it's the curtains of grief or overwhelm or fear or any other feelings that are here in this moment on the surface of your being. And what if we just drew those curtains open and then stepped through? You could step through grief. Step through overwhelm, fear. And just notice, if we dove into those feelings, what would be right on the other side of them? And they're still on the surface, showing up as they do. But right beyond those feelings, even deeper into the truth of who you are.
I felt like the word freedom coming.
Look at that. Maybe freedom hasn't, you know, maybe you haven't had access to that in a while.
No.
Yeah. So could you allow yourself to be immersed in this freedom that's always a part of you, even though it seems so far away? Yeah.
Yeah.
And just allow it to just, you know, it's like it could be hugging you, or it just could be filling you up. And it could seem, the mind could come in, and how could I possibly feel free with all of this going on? And if that's there, you could welcome that thought.
I feel like there's a warmth in my chest. There is a little bit of heaviness there as well, but there is like a warmth,
Beautiful.
like love or freedom was coming in then. So yeah.
So could you allow yourself to feel that warmth? To allow it to, where in your body did it appear?
In my chest, by my heart. Yeah.
Mm. And as you do this, if you want to place your hands on the body, I really like doing that. Wherever we notice sensations or feelings, it helps, I think, to connect to it.
Yeah, I have got my hand there actually. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Thanks.
I'm joining you.
Good.
Yeah. So could you just really notice the warmth within your heart, and then the warmth of your hand, warmth coming together. Really enjoying this feeling in your heart of this comforting, nurturing feeling of warmth.
There is actually, though, a heaviness in my throat, and that feels like it's distracting me from the warmth now.
Okay, that's all right. So let's take a moment and notice that feeling in the throat. There's so many things that I'm sure that have been said or need to be said, or Maybe there's fear to say, so it's just all that's happening in your throat area.
It feels like with the grief, my voice goes.
Yeah. So just noticing that, allowing any contraction that's here. Let's do what I did earlier, connecting with the throat and any resistance that you feel in that area, any contraction or. And just ask it, what do you need from me? Hmm. All is welcome here. All releases are welcome here.
It just felt like, yeah, feels like, I suppose what come to mind is I need to start putting myself first, because I feel like I'm there for my family so much. I suppose that's what I'm feeling like. There's some grief in not being there for myself at times.
Yeah, yeah, good. Yeah, so just acknowledging that, all that you've done for your family.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, do you have an idea after this call? We're going to be wrapping it up here in the next few moments.
Yeah.
After this call, what's one thing that you could do to demonstrate putting yourself first?
Well, I was thinking, because I love going to the beach, and in England here we don't have much hot weather. We're going to have a hot day on Friday, so I've thought about going to the beach on Friday. So yeah, it's a bit of a
Okay.
gym. I thought that I really need that after all that's gone on, just to get some sunshine. Yeah,
Okay, perfect. So Friday, go to the beach.
yeah.
What day is it? Is it there? Is it Wednesday there now?
Wednesday, it's like coming up to 6 p.m. in the evening, Laura.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there anything that you could do from now until you're going to bed that would also, and it could be really simple.
Yeah, I think I might go for a walk, because again, the sun's come out and it hasn't been out all day, so the sun's just come out. So I think I'll go for a walk. Yeah, that always helps, fresh air. So yeah, I'll do that.
See, and I would encourage you, and you may already have this. I know you're doing some things with doing the calls, but if you could make a list of things that are really self-love, they're all about you, and things that you can do regardless. I can go, no matter what's happening with our housing situation, my family, I can go for a walk.
Yeah.
I can take a bath. I can have a cup of tea. I can get some fresh, just making a list of things for you
Yeah, I will
that you can come back to when it feels like it's hopeless. There's nothing I can do. It's like, no, but I have these, maybe it's 5 things, maybe it's 10 things.
Yeah.
That are really easy, but demonstrate to your body and your being that this is me honoring myself first.
Yeah.
Putting myself first.
Yeah.
Is that something you could do?
Yes, definitely, Laura. Thank you. Yeah, it's just a reminder, isn't it? So just
just when things are really hard and you feel like you're hopeless, then you can look back at that list and you're like, okay, I can make myself a cup of tea.
Yeah.
I can go for a 10-minute walk.
Yeah.
That's really going to help you through this experience.
Yeah. And the community that we've got here is so amazing. I've never felt so supported. So it's really amazing. I've been on the non-duality journey for a long time and tried many different things, but this community, it resonates, the processes resonate so much. And these support calls are just, they're just absolutely amazing. So thank you so much for that, Laura. I really appreciate your support.
You're so welcome. I'm so happy to be here. And this recording will be posted on my YouTube channel. You'll see my name on the bottom of the screen, Laurel Askew. Just search for that. And it'll show the date when the call was was done.
Yeah.
So it'll be there in the next day or so.
I will definitely listen again to this. And the other the group release you did before Giving Up was amazing as well. So thank you, Laurel. That's
Oh, you're
really,
so welcome.
yeah.
You're so welcome. It's my pleasure. It really
Yeah.
is.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, that is it for today. I thank everybody that was here on the call and everyone that will be listening in the future. Just appreciate you being part of this community. And I wish you all a wonderful day. So thank you
Thanks,
very
Laurel.
much.
Thank you, Imani.
Bye.
You're so
Bye.
welcome. Have a good day.
Bye. You too. Bye.
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 Hmm.